Hello, my lovely people, and welcome to Owen's Mind, a light-hearted trip through the contents of my head and the world in general. It is Tuesday, the 24th of March. My name is Owen, and here is what is on my mind today. So, here in the UK, we are on lockdown for the next 3 weeks. So, I'm going to stay inside, only venturing out for absolute essentials, for medical care, for essential foods and that kind of thing. So, let's put some more content up instead. Let's keep things moving. So, video on Tuesday, going to be video tomorrow, probably videos the day after. I'm going to hopefully do a few movie reviews because there is loads of movies that have dropped on streaming. I've seen a couple of good ones. The Invisible Man was particularly good. I'd like to talk about that and The Hunt and that kind of thing. But apart from that, I'm going to try and stay away from the virus stuff too much because there's so much news out there, and hopefully people want to come to this and come to YouTube and social media and stuff to kind of get away from it a little bit. You know, it's good to be informed, but it's nice just to kind of step away and just, you know, realise that the world is still continuing in other areas. So there we go. So as usual, I've picked out 5 stories making the headlines what to give my thoughts on. Links will be in the description below so you can read each article in full and show those original publications some love. So without any further ado, let's get into it with story number 1. And story number 1 today comes from the Mirror. A furious dad handed £95 parking fine for putting ticket on window upside down. So today I'm in a weird position because I'm going to be defending some of the perceived bad guys today. So in this particular case, what we have is a furious dad claims he was slapped with a £95 fine because he placed a parking ticket upside down on windscreen of the car. He did not put it in upside down, he put it in back to front, which is different. Sam Spiller, 34, from Loughborough, is refusing to pay, saying he will sue the parking company in court. The teacher received a fine during a trip to Bradgate Park, in which the 6-year-old son, on January the 19th, he left his vehicle in the main car park at Newton Linford. He said, "I'm furious about this. I've been to Bradgate Park lots of times and has never had a problem like this. I went there to enjoy the beauty of the park and to share it with my young son, and the day was ruined. We had a lovely time and got back to the car, saw a parking fine attached to my windscreen." He then says, "I was not too upset when I realised I had stupidly attached the parking ticket to the windscreen and put it the wrong way around. The wrong way around, not the wrong way around. The information about how much I had paid and how long I was allowed to park there were facing inwards. The ticket had a serial number on, so I was sure the fine would be cancelled once my silly mistake was realised and once they had realised I had paid and used the car park properly." Mr. Spiller appealed against the fine to Spring Parking, who monitored the car park on behalf of Bradgate Park. They refused his appeal, so he went to the Parking on Private Land Appeals, or POPLA, an independent service administered by the Ombudsman Services. They also rejected his appeal and upheld the fine. "I'm told that if I don't pay £95, I will be taken to court," said Mr. Spiller. "I'm so angry that they can do that. What is my crime, to put a parking ticket in my car the wrong way around? If this is how people are treated when they pay to park at Bradgate Park, then I won't be going back." Bradgate Park, a spokeswoman said, an external company, Spring Parking, has been contracted for monitoring and enforcement of the 5 Bradgate Park Trust Pay and Display car parks for a number of years, and the Trust are not involved in the appeals process. Officers at the Trust have confirmed there is signage in place warning failure to display a valid payment ticket at any time will result in the vehicle being issued with a parking charge. An incorrect number or upside down ticket so it cannot be read would result in a parking charge notice. Whilst noting the above, we have recently introduced tickets with adhesive to reduce the chance of tickets being displayed incorrectly, and we have clear guidance on machines around pay and display input. This is proving helpful, we believe, to customers and, of course, the operators patrolling our sites, whilst always accepting the onus that the onus on the vehicle owner to ensure that the correct display of a ticket to enable the operative to confirm on inspection that the ticket is valid. This is the same for any pay or display parking in the county. So yeah, I'm actually kind of on the side of I know it's easy to bash parking wardens, and I've done it on this site before, but in this particular case, the ticket was upside down. So it couldn't be read from outside the vehicle. And it's easy to say, look, you know, it was an honest mistake and genuine and all this stuff, but I bet a lot of people do this to try and get away from it. So you've got to have some level of strictness from the authority saying, look, we couldn't read it. These car parks are referred to as pay and display. And yes, this gentleman did the pay part, he didn't do the display part. You couldn't read it. So for him to say, well, you know, well, there's a serial number on it and all this lot. By the time you've appealed, who's to say that's even the same ticket you're going to read the serial number off? People are smart. People don't want to pay. Nobody wants to pay a fine. Everyone wants to get a fine and want to get out of a fine. So the fact that you couldn't read the front of it says, okay, so this may be a valid ticket. I cannot confirm that. And it says on the signage, you have to display it so we can read it, because obviously we can't enter your car because it's locked. So you got a parking fine, couldn't display a ticket, couldn't read the ticket. If he then appeals and says, well, this is the serial number, that serial number could have come off a ticket from another car. How can he prove it was that particular ticket? Unless the guy who put the parking charge on photographed the ticket, and I don't know if they do that. If he actually took a photo of a really good picture so you could see the serial number, and that serial number would actually confirm the details on the front, because I don't know, that might just be a number of tickets on the back, because that's printed on the rear. So, it's a pain. I've had parking tickets, and they are a pain. And you just kind of think, oh, just another thing. I'm a little concerned now because I'm on lockdown. My car is parked in a public car park where I can't stay 24 hours. There's no parking at where I live, so I have to park in a public car park, and it's free from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. 8 a.m. Sorry, right. Let me get this right. So it's free from 6 p.m. till 8 a.m. and you get 2 hours grace. So I can park from 4 o'clock, because then 2 hours takes me to 6 when it's now free. And I can leave till 10 a.m. on the morning, because 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. again, that's 2 hours, which you're allowed free. There's no tickets for it. It's just monitored. So, but I can't get out and move it because it's an unessential journey. So I'm kind of hoping that the people who issue tickets are also quarantined and they can't come out either. I don't think that's classed as an essential job. So, it's a worry for me, and everyone hates getting tickets, but I kind of get his point, but I get their point as well. It's like, it wasn't displayed, and it's on all the signage. It's what you refer to these car parks as is pay and display, and the display part he didn't do. So it was, I sympathise with the guy, but I think at this point he's appealed once or twice, and they've said no, it stands up, and I think he should just pay it, take it as a learning lesson. One of them things. So anyway, sorry, moving on. Anyway, let's move on. Story number 2. Mail online today. So thieves steal a painting worth tens of thousands of pounds after its owner left it on the train on the way home from getting it valued. Yeah, so this is nutty. A painting by a renowned British artist worth tens of thousands of pounds was stolen from a train just hours after its owner had it valued. Owner Stephen Cousins travelled from Milton Keynes to London to get Blue Harbour by Sir Terry Frost valued. The painting was created in 1954 in St Ives, Cornwall. The train home was delayed and heavily crowded. He slipped it behind a seat as he stood, so so he wasn't carrying it, so he wasn't bumping into other people. He just tucked it out of the way so it wouldn't get damaged. Having it valued, and it's now apparently worth tens of thousands. It doesn't put an exact figure on it, but the headline, tens of thousands of pounds. When the train reached its stop, he was so distracted by all the crowds and shoving that he got off and only realised he had forgotten the painting when the doors closed. He notified the train company, but by the time it reached its destination in Crewe, the painting had vanished. So it was left on the train around 4 p.m. on the 23rd of January. Mr. Cousins said, I was bringing the painting back from London after getting it valued. The train was very delayed and incredibly crowded. I got up and moved as I felt uncomfortable, and I placed the painting behind a seat where I could see it. I was standing with other people. I could not wait to get off as I was distracted by the fact the train was so crowded. And trains can be a pain, they can. I then realised I had left the painting on the train. I noticed straight away and contacted the train authorities. Mr. Cousins said that he had simply forgotten the painting on the train because it was crowded. He added, it's a rare, important painting. It's a painting of some national importance because of the abstract rocking boats in it that Sir Terry Frost developed. That is what he's made his name with in his early career. I bought it 30 years ago, and I've been a collector over the years, but nothing of this quality. There is a significant reward if it is found and returned. Spokesperson with the British Transport Police said it's called theft by finding, which I didn't know, but yeah, theft by finding. We believe it's been stolen because it wasn't on the train and it's not been handed into the station, and he had it with him up to the moment he left the train. So yeah, theft by finding. I heard one other case of this where I think it's kind of classed as theft by finding, and somebody found a lottery ticket. Somebody had dropped it in the superstore and they picked it up, and it turns out it won a significant amount of money. And they claimed it, but they couldn't sort of prove to Camelot the kind of wherewithal where they'd bought it, and some of it in the story didn't that. So eventually it came out that they'd found it, and they tried to get the money anyway, going, well, I found it. It's kind of finders keepers. And in that article they said, No, if you found someone's car keys, you don't own their car. You know what I mean? Theft by finding. So that's what happens here. So you know what? You could easily say, well, it's worth thousands, right, hanging on to it. Yeah, it was a painting. It was slipped behind a seat. Maybe your mind was elsewhere. There was, it was hustle and bustle on the train, and it just an oversight. A lot of people have done this. People have left babies in car seats on top of cars and driven out of supermarket car parks. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that you might leave a painting. But yeah, if you have any information, you can contact the British Transport Police. There's loads of numbers actually in the article. So if you know where it is, it'll be interesting to see if it gets returned. It'll be interesting to see if somebody finds it to get the reward. Who's to say? Anyway, I think a lot of people, most people, if they found something on a train, they wouldn't know the value of it. I certainly wouldn't know that a painting's value, unless it's one of the highly recognisable ones. You're not going to find the Mona Lisa on a train. But for me, if it says it was wrapped in brown paper, so maybe somebody found it, and maybe it's hung on somebody's wall. Maybe somebody found it and liked it. Having seen the news now, they might realise, okay, there's got a bit more heat to this than I thought it might be. So they might hand it in. So hopefully this will be reunited with his painting. Sure, he feels silly about it, but again, we've all forgotten stuff before. Maybe not of this value. You could argue, well, he should have taken more care. That's with anything, isn't it? So anyway, best of luck to the gentleman. So let's move on. Story number 3. BuzzFeed News. So this is a man died after self-medicating with a drug Trump promoted as a potential treatment for the coronavirus. So this is where, again, I'm going to defend the person who's often portrayed as the villain here. So I'll give you the details. So a man died and his wife needed critical care after they both took a drug meant for aquariums that contains chloroquine, which President Trump recently touted as a treatment for COVID-19, in spite of a lack of a study by health officials or approval by the World Health Organization. According to the Banner Health hospital system in Phoenix, the couple, both in their 60s, ingested chloroquine phosphate, an additive commonly used at aquariums to clean fish tanks. One aquarium supply store online described it as a wonder drug, irresponsible, that was once only available through veterinarians for saltwater fish, not humans. The site is currently sold out of the drug. 30 minutes after taking the chloroquine phosphate, the couple experienced serious immediate effects that required them to go to the hospital. Dr. Daniel Brooks, medical director of the Banner Poison and Drug Information Center, said the aquarium additive that the couple ingested had the same active ingredients as anti-malaria drug, which is quinine. However, the formula activated differently than the prescription. Alexis Kramer-Ainzer, spokesperson for the Banner Health, told BuzzFeed News, making them seriously ill. They confirmed the couple took the additive because they most likely read about chloroquine online and in recent news reports. We understand people are panicked and looking for answers, she said. This is not the way to handle it. Self-medicating will only cause more damage. Toxicologists confirmed the substance was responsible for the symptoms they were experiencing. The woman's condition is now stable and she's expected to survive because she managed to throw up the drug. So chloroquine, which has been used in various medications to treat malaria and lupus, has been in the news recently because doctors in countries including South Korea, China and France have reported positive results when administered to COVID-19 patients, the New York Times reported. Trump has repeatedly said the drug could be instrumental in the fight against the coronavirus. In a press conference last week, he said the drug, which the FDA has not approved for treating COVID, could be a game changer. He also said, and maybe not, but I think it could be, based on what I see. It could be a game changer, very powerful. They're very powerful, he said. The next day, Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, bluntly walked back Trump's assertions, and the answer is no, he said in response to reports questions about the drug as a coronavirus treatment, calling the evidence anecdotal and emphasizing there was not any official studies. We're trying to strike a balance between making something with the potential of an effect the American people available at the same time that we do it under the auspices of a protocol that would give us information to determine if it was truly safe and truly effective, Fauci said. But the information that you're referring to specifically is anecdotal. It was not done in a controlled clinical trial, so you can't really make any definitive statement about it. So, yes. So the article is, the headline is a hit piece. The article's okay, it gives you information. It's, but that headline there, man died after self-medicating with a drug Trump promoted as potential. That's a clickbait headline. Let's face it, it is, isn't it? Because at this point, surely anything Trump says, I'm not a fan of the guy, it should be fact checked. let's face it, there's been enough things he has said and has been proven to be inaccurate or this. It should have been fact checked. And again, even what his official said, it said it could be a game changer. Not is, could be, and maybe not. Maybe not, but I think it could be, based on what I say, it could be a game changer. Good changer. So if you listen to the first thing he said there, could be. So say it is, and maybe not, but I think it could be based on what I see. So at no point is he telling people to take this. So I can't believe I'm defending Trump. At no point did he say go out and take this. He's saying, we could be seeing things from this. He's probably sat down in meetings with doctors, and a whole medical team going, what are our options here? What are our options in regards treatment? And like, we could be months and months and months away from an actual cure, but maybe this, maybe that, maybe the other. Well, what's this one? What's this chloroquine? Well, we use it for, it's been used for lupus and malaria and this kind of thing, and it may have a positive effect. Have we got any data on it? Well, we've got X, Y, and Z. It's not been clinically trialed and all this lot. So he's basically saying, yeah, it could be a game changer, but at this point, and he didn't say at any point, based on this article, that he's telling people to go out and take it. So that's my defense of what he said. However, we're in scary times. People are worried. People are very worried about the coronavirus. Now, a lot of the reporting I have seen has been very, very moderate. There's not been a lot of scaremongering that I've seen. It's been handled pretty well, saying, look, these are the facts. And I'm talking about the big news outlets. There's been lots of stuff in regards Twitter, and there's lots of kind of scaremongering stories about, you can get it from your dog, and you can get this, and this is, all these horrible things. All these clickbait articles about your favourite celebrities died from coronavirus and all this kind of stuff. But the actual reputable news outlets, I think their coverage, to me, has come across as quite balanced. It's kind of firm but fair. It's like, yeah, this is serious, but these are the facts. However, people are scared, they're worried, and they're going to try anything to try and, keep themselves safe. So if somebody just mentions something that might work, and then some unscrupulous seller online says, oh, well, guess what? We've got that. Because it said, I said at the beginning there, where are we? Let's see if I can bring this back up. One aquarium supply store online described it as a wonder drug. Once only available through veterinarians for saltwater fish, not humans. The site is currently sold out of the drug. So, that's the thing is, there's a lot of people trying to profit off the virus thing. There's a lot of people, unscrupulous people, trying to make a buck out of it, and they're going to do it by making you fearful and telling you they've got the answer, and that's what appeared here. But just general information. This is the main sort of point of doing this story, is like general information. I know you're scared, but use your reason. Reason has to come first. If somebody's saying this drug is going to cure you, is it? Look into it, really look into the detail. And again, even if it's shown great promise, if it's not been approved by the FDA, it's not going to be available for sale through a reputable company, through a pharmaceutical company. So even if somebody says they're selling it online, you don't know what you're getting. A pill, a tablet, tends to be, or a capsule, tends to be a little white capsule, a little white pill. You don't know what's in that. It's white. Could be anything. Could be any chemical compound you can think of. Just because it says a chloroquine phosphate on the box, it could have been anything. In this case, it turns out it was that, but they had a very detrimental effect because it wasn't delivered the way a pharmaceutical would be delivered to a human being. That's not, So it doesn't say, it might be that if this proves to be successful, it might be that a successful human dose is 100 milligrams 3 times a day. This tablet on here could have been 500 milligrams because it's used for cleaning aquariums. So again, just please, please, please keep yourself safe. Don't do things like this, because you hear horrible stories like this. And again, I get that people are scared and people are looking for any way to make themselves feel safer or feel better, and they'll try anything to save their loved ones. But you need some pause here. And again, just jumping on someone's comments saying, even though the first three things he says is maybe, maybe, could be, not definitely, not go out and buy this, not like we are rolling this out. The FDA has approved this, we've rubber stamped it. He didn't say any of that. So laying this at Trump's door, I don't think is fair. There's a lot you can, but this I don't think is one of them. Oh, I feel dirty now. Anyway, let's move on. Story number 4. So story number 4, this comes from Vox. This is a little follow-up to one I did a couple of weeks ago. It's nice to kind of, when stories come back around. So, surprise, Woody Allen's memoirs come out in the US after all. So, I did a story about Woody Allen had written a memoir, and I think a company called Hatchet Press were going to publish it, but his son was a published author on Hatchet Press, and the book he had published was about sexual predators in powerful positions, and there's a lot of allegations against Woody Allen, and he thought it was conflict of interest, so he left the publisher. A lot of Hatchet staff walked out. So here we are now. So Woody Allen's controversial memoir was released on Monday in a surprise announcement of the Associated Press reports. The book release, which comes with no prior notice, arrives just 2 weeks after Allen was dropped by his previous publisher following a staff walkout. So his memoir, titled Apropos of Nothing, was set to be published by Hatchet imprint Grand Central Publishing in April. But Grand Central's March 2nd announcement sparked immediate controversy. Allen's adopted daughter Dylan Farrow had accused Allen of molesting her when she was 7 years old, and Allen's son Ronan Farrow, who has consistently stood by Dylan in her accusations, is also a Hatchet author. Ronan Farrow's book, Catch and Kill, about his experience reporting on sexual predators, was a major success for the Hatchet imprint, Little Brown and Company, in 2019. Both Farrows immediately denounced Hatchet's decision to publish Allen, and Ronan Farrow dropped the company as his publisher. And on March 5th, Hatchet staffers and imprints throughout the company at all levels walked out in solidarity with the Farrows. It was an unprecedented move within publishing, and it was effective. The next day, Hatchet announced that it was cancelling the publication of Allen's book. However, as part of that cancellation, they have to revert all their rights back to Woody Allen, so he was free to sell it to other people, and he's now found another publisher. It's now gone to Arcade Publishing, an imprint of Skyhorse Publishing. Skyhorse is not one of the so-called Big Five houses that dominate US trade publishing. It's a smaller independent house that has published plenty of legitimate authors, including Nobel laureate Ali Weisel, but also has a history of publishing conspiracy theories about JFK's assassination of vaccines. They've also worked with Allen before. In 2011, he wrote the introduction to director Ingmar Bergman's memoir, published through Skyhorse. In a statement to the Associated Press, Arcade editor Jeanette Seaver said, "In this strange time when truth is often dismissed as fake news, we as publishers prefer to give the voice to the respected artist rather than bow to those determined to silence him." The Associated Press appears to be the only outlet that has been able to see a copy of Allen's memoir thus far. In the book, the Associated Press reports, Allen continues to deny ever harming Dylan Farrow. He writes that he never laid a finger on Dylan, never did anything to her that could even be misconstrued as abusing her, and it was a total fabrication from start to finish. So there you go. The book there's going to be a print run of 75,000 copies, priced at $30 for the hardcover and $13.99 for the ebook. So now you can sort of see it for yourself. This is a weird one because, again, I said in the previous video when Hatchet had pulled this, was it insensitive of them to maybe offer to publish Allen's book, knowing that his son had published for them as well on the same label a book about sexual predators, and there was loads of allegations against Woody Allen? Yeah, it was insensitive. Allen has never been convicted of anything, so all they're doing is publish in a book by an innocent man. When you look at it, that's all they're doing. The fact, as actually said in that first video, I'm sure I've not rewatched it, that had it gone to another publishing house, I don't think it would be nearly the furore there was over this. Controversial figures always publish books, and there is an interest for them. You know, Allen has supporters who just don't believe the allegations. Allen has lots of people who do believe the allegations, but they've never been taken to court. So, at the minute, in the eyes of the law, he's an innocent man, and he's allowed to write a book. I mean, plenty of guilty men write books and get published, and you know. But as of this point, he's not been accused. He's been accused of many things. Nothing's ever been proven. Nothing's ever been taken to court. So he's written his memoir, using his memoir to kind of deny everything. Again, maybe he just wants to put his side, and we now have the daughter's side, we have the son's side, and now through this memoir we have Allen's side, and maybe people can read it and they might get a new perspective. It might change your mind, it might not. but it's out there, and I think, you know, whatever you think, you know, a lot of people refuse to support his movies, and they will refuse to buy the book, going, "I'm not putting money in his pocket. He's a monster." That's your opinion, but legally, he's not done anything. You know, it's a tricky one, especially with all the Me Too stuff and everything that's going on, and these allegations have floated around him for decades now. So yeah, the memoir is out there if you want it. I love movies, but I'm not particularly interested in Woody Allen stuff. It's just not my particular um, genre that I enjoy. But yeah, he's an odd character. Even people who like him say he's an odd character when they go to. He's very nervous and he's very introverted. When they go to like, sort of screen tests for him, he's very. Somebody gave a story once, I forgot what it was, but he's a bit of a unique character, regardless of everything else. So, you know, for a lot of people, they like his work, they like the way he makes movies, and they'll want to see his process just from a movie, maybe from a technical standpoint, maybe from how he approaches story. You know, because students of film, because you can't deny his movies have had a major influence. The side of the memoir that's more about his personal life, people might not be interested in, or they might be very interested in because of everything that's been labelled against it. They might want to read his stance and see if they believe him, if they don't. So, regardless, the opportunity is now yours. It is out there. So, anyway, it's been a pretty heavy show so far. So let's move on to finish with a little bit of humour, and as always, if we can, we turn to the Metro, because why not? So, man jailed for stealing police cars' blue lights for bragging rights. Look at this guy like an absolute don. A man who stole the blue lights from the top of a police car for bragging rights has been jailed. So, British Transport Police said David Macbeth, 30, jumped on the roof of one of their vehicles when it was parked outside Sunderland Station in December 2018. He pulled and kicked at the emergency lights, eventually ripped them off and walked away with them. Macbeth was caught on CCTV with the lights over his shoulder, and they were never recovered. The damage and the cost of hiring a replacement vehicle was £1,000. Macbeth of John Street, Sunderland, was charged with theft and appeared at South Tyneside Magistrates Court on Thursday, the 19th of March, where he pleaded guilty and was jailed for 10 weeks. PC Michael Proudfoot. Isn't that a fantastic police officer's name? PC Proudfoot. That could be a TV show. Of British Transport Police said this was an act of sheer stupidity. He targeted a squad car in clear view of cameras and would not stop until he got hold of the emergency lights. You can only imagine he did this for some nonsense bragging rights. So, yeah, you know, he's probably, you know, you can see from the picture, it's late in the evening, it looks dark, so I'm guessing, you know, he maybe had a skinful, and so it was December 2018, so probably close to Christmas, maybe had a few too many spirituous beverages, and yeah, he thought he'd grab some blue lights and run off with it. It'd be brilliant if they chased him, you know, because he could run red lights if he had his blues on. I know it doesn't work like that, but yeah. So yeah. Anyway, he's been jailed for 10 weeks. I don't know if that'll stand now with the whole virus thing, because it's quite a minor crime. It's a crime, you know, and he's been charged for it. But I don't know if he'll actually do 10 weeks, or if they're going to say, well, you know, we can't have you crowded, so don't do it again. But yeah. Anyway, so they suggest he did it for bragging rights for his mates, because he's walking away grinning like an absolute boss. So there you go. Anyway, that's it, guys. Links to all the stories I've discussed today can be found in the description below, so feel free to go and check it out. Let me know what you think about this video, and tell me, have you ever done something stupid for a dare? Maybe on a night out and someone's dared you to take something, or do something, or, you know, whatever. Answers in the comments, please, along with any thoughts you'd like to share. These are mine. They're not necessarily important. They're not necessarily right or wrong. They're just what was on my mind. So until next time, bye for now.